Yes, sir. What's going on? This is your host, Stewmichaels, and you are now tuned in to Let's Talk, Not Argue, powered by 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. And for everyone that is not familiar with Let's Talk, Not Argue, Let's Talk, Not Argue is a safe place where we can talk all things sex, love, and relationships. And before we do, I just definitely want to give a shout out to all the loyal listeners that come on each and every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. We are live in over 172 different countries worldwide. And I'm telling y'all right now, I listen to all of the feedback because even the ones that speak to me in your language, I use Google and I translate it so I can make sure, you know what I'm saying, that I understand what you're saying. And then for some of y'all, I respond back thinking that, I know your language, but, it's Google Translate. So, they help me out with that. But once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in each and every Monday, rocking in with your boy, Stewmichaels, every single Monday on Let's Talk, Not Argue. So, last week we were talking, we got a little heated with me and Denitra, and all of a sudden we started to talk about submission. So, we got a lot of estrogen in the building today. So fellas, I think I may be outnumbered here, but I'm going to hold it down for the G's, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to start from left to right, and we're going to introduce yourself. We got some special guests in the building. We're going to introduce yourself, and then we're going to get this thing cracking. So go ahead.
Also, it starts with me.
You know it.
Hey, it's me, Denitra, back again. Super excited to talk about this since I got shut down. It's about to get real. Ain't no shutting down, brother. We starting off at the top of the hour. Super excited.
Hello, I'm Jewel. Last name Myers, Realtor Bay. I'm sorry. Dorsey.
There it is.
Sorry about that. Last name Dorsey. Found Realtor Bay. Just kind of got dragged onto the show.
Facts.
To get my 2 cents.
Okay. Hi, I'm Gail Bean, Black Queen.
Hey.
That's it.
That girl lying. Miss Celebrity Gail Bean in the building. You know what I'm saying? She just put that promo. Hey, what we gonna get into it? We gonna get into it
on BET April 23rd and Snowfall on FX.
Wow.
Our girl is lit. You got a lot of lit women right here.
I'm telling you, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Put it like that. You know what I'm saying? Blessed and highly favored.
Ooh.
So speaking of the women that's in here, and to kind of tie into what we were talking about, or what we are talking about this week, we're talking about submission and just, different things and, roles and certain situations. So I got a lot of women in here, and I definitely want for them to chime in. We have some single, some in relationships, and some married. So that's, we hitting every corner.
Yeah.
That was a good little mix in.
Well, I'm telling you, come on, blessings. Okay, cool. So the question that, we were talking about and the talking points, things like that, was about submission. So I guess the first question is, why do women submit? Like, why do you all do, like, is it a choice, or is it like, oh, I'm doing it because I have to? Like, what's going on?
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
Really
Go ahead.
I don't think, I'm not married, but I'm also not single. I think it's a natural thing. Like, some people may try to force it, and you'll probably experience that as well. But for me, why do I submit? It's not a thought. I feel like when I encounter a man, submission is just like, it's just a way of life. So
that's how you get them, boy. That's how you get them.
Hear what she used though.
What she used? Oh,
she was saying man.
Yeah.
You gonna stop downplaying all these guys out here talking about
I
man
think
and
these
a boy.
kings are amazing, but to your point, I believe that I'll say I'm single as a dollar bill, make it a 5 or a 10 or a 20. Listen, I like blue faces.
Blue,
but
Nipsey Blue.
Listen,
There it is.
Oh, Nipsey Blue.
All right.
I truly believe that women submit to men that make you feel comfortable that they can lead you, and that they are going to not put you in harm. They're going to protect you. They're going to provide. They're going to do all of those things. So there's no question. I think innately you would submit to that type of guy. I find it very difficult, though, in dating when you want men or young men to get you to submit, but they're not doing nothing. It's like, brother, you made 2 lefts. You ain't made not a single right. We are lost. I don't know what's happening.
See, no, I was
so
just going to ask you that.
you.
Like, so do you wait when you start dating somebody? Do you wait to see if they're the type of man first before you start submitting? Because maybe they're not showing you. Maybe they're not showing you that they're that type of person until you start to submit.
I think it's like you ever get around somebody in that energy, you know that you can get around somebody and be like, I can introduce you to someone. You be like, I'm not really fucking with them. Like we're not gonna be friends. Like you can speak and it can be a cordial setting. Yeah. So I feel like certain men, period, they carry an aura. So it's like energy. Regardless, when you first meet them, it's like I'm a man. Like even how they approach you, how they may come about certain things, it doesn't come off like they just a nigga, a boy, or a guy just trying to smash. Like it's a certain level of respect, not just for you, but a certain level of respect for themselves. Yes. So it's like, okay, all right. Like naturally, I've been with my dude for about 14 months, and naturally, it's just. I be in awe. Like, oh, okay. All right. I'm listening.
Like, you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I commend her for that because that wasn't me. I didn't learn how to, I'm going to be honest and say I didn't learn how to submit, or I didn't learn that I wasn't submitting the right way until I went to premarital counseling. And that's when it was one of those things like, no, you're controlling as hell. And you need to sit back and let your man take the wheel a bit. So it wasn't for me until that point. Like for you to already have made that step ahead of time, I applaud you. Thank you.
But it took me a long time. It took me a long time to get to the point where I was willing. I had five older brothers. I'm the only girl. It took me a long time to get to a point where I was realizing, and my mother and father have been divorced since I was 3. So naturally, I was used to being the alpha.
See, I was with y'all, but Denitra, when you said you waiting, because as a man, like we're taught this from birth. We're taught to be a man. We're taught the responsibilities of a man from birth. So if we're going on a date, like you said last week, like you got to put your best foot forward. But like if I say, yo, you know, so whether it's a first date or third date, and I'm like, yo, I'm feeling you. I really like your energy. My homeboy has a cookout or my cousin has a cookout and I want you to come with me. Like I'm looking for, maybe it's just me, but I'm looking for like, you know, when we get there, you may not know anybody, but all of a sudden you going over there to like, you know, hey baby, you want something to eat? You know, you want me to go get you? Yeah, like come on.
I've been making late for 10 years, okay?
That's one thing. Now I will say that. Man. She submits in simple ways first. Like when you walk into Nietzsche's house, she cooks something, she's making you
I get to go place. And I return the Tupperware. First of all.
So I mean she shows small signs, but she's not gonna show.
I'm not jumping out the gym.
Yeah.
I feel like.
So what is it? Like what is it? What is your definition of submission then? Because that to me shows me something. Like that shows.
So yes, small steps and stuff like that, but like on the major thing where I'm just letting you. For me, I feel like I've worked really hard to be where I am. Like in this space, and so I don't really want to willingly just relinquish everything that I've done, and I'm not sure that you're going to take care of me. So like when you were talking about the guys that you were saying like, you know, we've been taught this type of responsibility since birth. You have, and a lot of other great guys have, but a lot of them were not. They were coddled by their moms and their aunts and their grandmothers and their sisters, and they weren't really taught the responsibility of a man. So they're not coming over your house saying that your trash is full and offering to take it out.
And
they're
taking it.
Yes.
Man, simple stuff.
For me, that's what, when I see someone do something like that, like even as a friend, it makes me be like, oh, okay, so you a man's man.
Soul, huh?
Yeah. I mean, if that's the word we're going to use.
Since you say men have been taught how to be a man since birth, where do y'all lose your way?
Ooh, girl.
I think
I'm just saying, because there's a lot of men who that was raised to be men, but then they come out being niggas. I don't know if we can say that on here.
You're right, but a nigga and a man.
And fuckboys.
Yeah, a nigga and a man are more so. Like, it depends because you're like, Denitra said it. She was like, you know, a lot of them were coddled by their mothers. And I mean, for myself, like, I grew up, my parents weren't together. You know, they split up at an early age. And I had older brothers who I saw. And then you get to pick and choose, like, where you want. Some may call other people, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, you a nigga because you don't see it. But honestly, it's really it's based on that person, because I've had some nigga tendencies where I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do it because I don't feel like you deserve it. And instead of, well, I'm just gonna do it, so every time that you speak of me or you hear somebody speak of me, you gonna know that you were taught well or you were treated well because you had the Stewmichaels experience, put it like that.
So are you only a man to people you feel deserving?
No, that was before. That was before. That was before. But like now, like I can, a total stranger. You know what I'm saying? It's just different things that you'll do. Open a door when you see somebody. If you see a woman at a gas station, you don't know that woman, but you see her pumping gas, and you go over there, like, "Hey, I got it for you." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people aren't taught that, and so I mean, it's.
I just want to know what avenue, what street these men pumping gas. Because it be cold outside.
No. I know
y'all had
asked the lady if he could pump her gas for her. It was cold. They was out kind of like in the hood. And he asked her, he said, I'll pump your gas. He's a gentleman. See? And she was like, you gonna fill up my tank too?
See?
He was like, nah, bitch, do it yourself.
Look,
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's real life. But like, he was like, nah, I'm not trying to get down. Trying to be a man.
I don't know. That whole thing, like, in dating is so hard because it's almost like the chicken and the egg thing. Like, which one do you do and in what ways?
Because we can use like. I'm sorry. I'm so.
Which one comes first?
Which one comes first?
Oh.
And so, like, it depends on your perspective on what you think. Like you were saying, if a woman deserves it, that's essentially like what I said when I was like, I gotta wait and see.
Yeah.
And so, like, how do you determine who it? You're ridiculous. How do you
certain things that a man has to possess? Like, I make it very clear with any guy I'm dating. If we together and we live together, you gotta pay all the bills. Like, I've always said that you gotta pay all my bills.
She has always said that because that's how she was raised. Like in her household, her dad was like, "This is what it's gonna be." So there's a difference. For me, when I was dating, I will say that I never had to hide my qualities because I was never. I just realized I don't know.
Right. For me, a person has to pay, but I can pay. But it's not that. It's what I'm doing. What you mean? I'm being a woman.
Oh, right. So what are you doing?
But this is my thing. If we split any bills, you my roommate, and I'm gonna treat you as such. So if you want to be the man of my life, you got to take roles as the man of my life for me to be like, oh, okay, this is a difference. This is a clear. I need boundaries. I don't have gray areas. I need black and I need white.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm just saying, what? Okay, so. Are you just sitting? Are you just there?
As a woman, there's certain things I'm doing. I'm gonna rub your. First off, I don't have to work. I choose work is a choice.
Right. Okay.
I'll rub your back.
In that situation,
I'll make sure you feel good. I'll keep the house clean. I'll do things that I feel I need to do, and you do things that you feel you need to do. But certain things, it's like it was just the way I was raised.
And that's a conversation. Like that's a conversation. Like all those things that you are saying that you do.
Keep the house clean.
Right, but all those things that you are saying you would do is a conversation that's had. Like a lot of people will take that and they'll be like, "Well, I'm gonna be in the house, like I'm gonna be working on my tummy T line while you over here out here working and doing this, and I'm gonna be on Instagram posting selfies, and you come home, the clothes all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like you got absurd dishes all in the sink. You know what I'm saying? Like it's So
see, you gotta be willing to be a woman if you want a man to be a man.
You know what? Come on, somebody now.
Have you ever regretted being submissive to a man?
To me?
Yeah, like in hindsight, you're like,
yes, but my submission it was actually going to tie into something else that I wanted to ask all of you guys. I have been in situations where, like, maybe I was a little bit further in certain instances, maybe my career or education wise, but I'm just I don't really care about none of that. Like, if I like you and we vibe, like, I don't, we're not worried about that. But I found that on the heels of being like that I unconsciously kind of emasculated men because I didn't know that, I need to wait for you to take the trash out or, to wash my car, this, that, and the third. I would just kind of just drop it. And then right then I'm used to taking care of it. And so the feedback that I got was like, dang, you didn't even give me a chance to do it. And it wasn't that I was intentionally doing it because I don't believe that you could as a man, but it was more like, oh, I got it. I've been used to doing it. And so in that, I was submissive. Like I cook, clean. I mean, stayed in the gym.
But you used to do it all.
Yes, I would do it all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would say now I'm a little bit more cognizant of giving all of that because it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Stress.
And then they get.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because I learned in marriage counseling, I learned that when, like, if you get into a situation where you want the other person to do something so much, it's like you're going to build so much anger trying to, thinking that person is going to, like, I need you to go take out the trash. You're building that anger saying that, okay, I want you to do it, and they're not doing it. You just got to do it yourself. And then you do it yourself because at the end of the day, the trash needs to be taken out.
I will say this, like, that would have sounded crazy to me a couple years ago. But I met an old couple that had been married for like 35 years. Mm-hmm. And I asked them, this was before I got married. I'm like, so what's the key? Everybody wants to know, like, what's the key to marriage is, and this and the other. And he said for him, it was when he decided to tell himself, like, yes, your wife is always right. He said he really had to, like, just man up and be like, she's always right. Like, about everything. Like, anything wrong that has happened throughout their entire marriage, it's been like, I should listen to my wife, etc. And then for her, she was like, I just had to put the seat down. And I was like, what does that even mean? Like, and she said they argue so much about him putting the seat down. And then it was one of those things where they went to counseling and she was like, well, why don't you leave? The counselor said, why don't you put it up? She said, after you use the restroom, why don't you put the seat up for him? Why does he have to put the seat down for you? And so it was one of those things where I was like, oh, that's a little,
that just took me out.
Because it's, I mean, it's like we're both, you're expecting something to me, but I'm expecting something to you. So she said she would start putting the seat up. And it was like really weird. So, I mean, I completely agree with what you said. But years ago, I would look at you like you were crazy. Like, no, that's not how it works. But I mean, I get it. It's like you're always fighting these battles, and it's like, it's easy to be solved. The same thing with my in-laws. Like, my mother-in-law couldn't stand when her husband left his shoes by the door. She hated when he left his shoes by the door. And so eventually she bought a basket for him to put his shoes in the basket, and they were still by the door. So now she walks in the house, she picks up the shoes, and she puts them in the basket.
Problem solved. What? See, y'all women so smart. Well, I tell you.
It's not about being smart, because for me, I was like, I don't understand why I need to do it if it's just that simple for you to do.
Yeah.
But again, it's like that unnecessary stress. You might as well just let go.
Yeah.
It's part of the submission that I had to learn. So
I like that. Because it sounds like little deals, big deals. Like, is that really is this going to be a big deal? Like,
And to us, I mean, as women, we always think everything is so simple. Like, my husband puts everything next to where it's supposed to be. Like, his dirty clothes go next to the basket. His dirty shoes, his dirty dishes go next to the sink. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was like, it's right here. Like,
it's close enough.
It's one more inch.
It's close enough.
But, eventually it's like, I got it. I got it.
It's close
enough. At least it makes it from the living room to the kitchen.
It's middle ground.
Yeah.
But see, too, I think it might have to do with, like, you have a little brother. Mm-hmm. I have 5 older brothers. Mm-hmm. So for me, I saw what they went through in the world, what they went through with females. And I always thought the black man has it hard enough. I didn't want to make it harder. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to be there to, like, love and care for, and not, like, be the mother figure, but be the figure that's like, okay, this person accepts me for me. Mm-hmm. And this person will help me reach the potential that they see in me, but they're not going to scowl me or scold, whatever the word is, for not maximizing my potential in this moment. Like, they love me for where I'm at today, and they're going to help push me to where I can be. So I think that also had to do with, okay, I'm going to submit because they have enough things that they're fighting, that they're going against. So let me help and then push them in a submissive way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love it.
No, I get it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. But we talking, look, I love this, boy. We're talking all this submission. But I guess let's take a step back and go into the dating etiquette part of it. Like, because we being submissive all over. Like, this is, that jumped the gun.
So that's what I was going to say before I realized I need to get off live. So for me, when I was dating, it was never just like, if I'm not in a relationship with you, I was never just dating that one person. I was always dating several different people. And so because of that, it wasn't a game for me. Like, the issue is that most people get in relationships and they're trying to play these games. Like, I want to text first. I don't want to call first. I don't want to do this first. I don't want to, etc. And it's like this whole tit for tat, like, who's putting in more effort. But for me, I was just who I am with everybody, because it's like I'm also not lying to you about anything. So when I left you for breakfast, I was going to eat dinner with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I could be it wasn't. I mean, I was always honest though. I was Gail can vouch for that. Like, somebody will come to you while I'm with somebody else and be like, "What are you doing?" "Hey, I'm with such and such." "Oh, okay, I'll see you later." And it worked for me. And so for the submission part, it's like, I was always just like how Denisha is. You walk in my house, I'm going to make you a plate, or, something's dirty, I'm going to get it for you, etc. It was never like a game for me to try to hold that back, because everybody got the same jewel,
You are a jewel.
Yes, you are.
Appreciate that.
I'm telling you.
They've been like this for like, I've known y'all for over a decade now.
Yeah.
It's always been like this. It's so sweet.
So Denisha, you were talking to me earlier about dating etiquette, and I mean, when you were asking me, I mean, I was just kind of looking at it. When you ask who pays, I mean, that's not. I don't see that as a question, but clearly, it needs to be.
Who pays on the dates?
Right. So,
it's not a date if the man not paying.
Exactly.
Right.
I had to check somebody a long time, but we had been dating for a while, and they were like, "Oh, I mean, we can still go on a date, but you're gonna have to drive and pay." I said, "It's not a date. We might as well cancel it, because if I'm driving and paying, it's not a date. What are we doing? You're not my friend.
Y'all going out?
I got friends.
That's not your friend.
I got friends.
Y'all going out?
This a date? Is it a date or no?
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so I'm like, let's talk about. There's a couple tiers. I've literally just for real got back on the dating scene and being active and intentional with my dating. And I've just noticed, okay, we'll talk about paying. I think that the man should pay, but I don't ever, in Atlanta, there's such this cloud with men going out, because you have the
real
age
estate.
of,
Real estate.
You have the age of dating online, so dating almost doesn't even seem like something that people really, it's just something to do, like, oh, let's meet for coffee right now, let's go here, let's go there, I need you to pull up, I just want to get a drink, I don't really want to take you out to dinner and invest in a conversation, because I don't know if I like you.
see, that's
it takes, for me, it takes it out of it. Like, I don't even want to be getting up and putting on real clothes.
I think you have to set your own standard.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, I've never been on a date with anybody that I couldn't take care of. I mean,
right,
I'm just
right
different. So I've always and sometimes I will pay.
Agreed.
I mean, unlike.
No, I'll pay, but we gotta be like have dated for a long time.
Bro, Gail ain't paying. Bro, you just said you was dating buddy for a long time, and
she said for a little. No, she's talking about another dude. It was another dude.
Right. Look, I just take long time. I don't know the dudes. I just take long times. Like,
no, but people. I just feel like when it comes to dates, like you as a guy, I've just always known as a guy you're supposed to pay. My mom and daddy been divorced since I was 3. He still paid for stuff. Like,
no,
no.
Yeah,
that's a godly man right there, boy.
Like, I just feel like the guy's supposed to pay, and if I choose to pay, it's my choice.
I think the courting aspect,
but don't expect.
Said that.
Don't ever expect.
Exactly.
You should always come in with the intention of I'm paying.
That's facts.
I think the courting aspect is completely demolished.
Yeah.
On this side,
I think it's just letting them know, and like Joe said, setting a standard of how you want the relationship to go, because how you expect me to submit and you can't even do the little stuff that is deserving of submission.
I totally agree. I'm telling y'all so happy. I mean, I'm happy for y'all to be out the game. I pray about it every day. It is so hard, and you just don't know what to do. Even like when you were talking about the playing games and the cat and mouse, I find that even communicating, it's like, bro, I'm not trying to text you all day.
Yeah.
I'm not answering the phone after 9:30. I'm super grown, but nah, let's be in that space. Absolutely not. I'm not meeting up with you for we're not doing none of that.
Yeah.
I'm not. Like, it's just the simple stuff. Like I was talking about opening doors and all this. I did not even realize that I wasn't even going for that until I dated a guy who literally would get upset and be like, you need to go back around and let me open it. Because I was just so used to just off a GP, and you're right in setting that standard. But like chivalry, like consistency, And you'll go out.
Is a major.
Oh my God, dating is so inconsistent. Like,
so this consistency conversation, we gonna bring that right when we get back from this commercial break, because I have a feeling we about to go in on this consistency thing,
all the way.
and I gotta make sure. Hey, I gotta make sure that I got enough ammo for this, because folks out here going crazy. So. Hey man, keep it locked right here on 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. It's your boy Stewmichaels. Let's talk, not argue. Welcome back to Let's Talk, Not Argue with your boy Stewmichaels and the lovely Estrogen crew.
Yeah.
30 E, baby. 30 E.
I'm telling you, in the building, man. We getting a lot of gems, man. So fellas, I hope y'all taking notes. Humbly taking notes. Women, y'all too. You know what I'm saying? And before we left, we were talking about, the C word, this consistent C word that raised a lot of eyebrows and got everybody hyped. So, I don't know who was speaking, but if you want to go ahead and take over, y'all can go ahead. Look, Denisha's like, I'm over it.
I mean, I think you should go, because you're the one that's the most single.
The most single.
I mean, some people say you're not single till you're married, so.
Facts.
Go ahead, Anisha. Take it away.
I just got a hairball. Nah, that was a real statement. But so I was just talking about consistency within dating. I'm finding now that it's so hard to find people, whether they like you or not, be consistent with their action, their words, their gestures, their time, their effort, their energy. And I feel like when you're early on in a relationship, you kind of, in a relationship in its entirety, you've got to be going hard and be consistent. Mm-hmm. But I feel like early on, you're really trying to set a foundation, a strong foundation, and a lot of people are coming up with cracks. And I could even say that consistency on my end can waver depending on what you show me. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like if we go on a date as a guy, you need to make sure I got home if I met you. The next morning, I expect some kind of good morning, how you doing? Mm-hmm. I want you to start caring more about my day and what I've got going on. And if you want to go on another date, for me, after about 2 or 3 days, if within 2 or 3 days after our first date, if you haven't said, hey, what are you doing this weekend? What are you doing next week? I really want to see you. I would love to get up with you. Then for me, I'm done with it. Mm-hmm.
So is this conversed within that first date? Because are you just hoping that he was taught that and he just supposed to read your mind?
Yes, I like clairvoyance. What? I believe it's half and half. I believe that you should know these things. Like, for me, if I really like somebody or I'm interested in getting to know them, whether I'm not sure if it's going to turn into a relationship, but if I like your energy, I'm going to let you know that I like your energy by my actions, by what I talk to or remember. If we're texting or FaceTiming, I'm going to pick up on all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I feel like another part of it is, you just need to do it. That's all I can say.
Right, but this is what I'm asking you, though, because I feel like you want them, because you're saying what you would do mm-hmm. in that situation, but when you're dealing with a whole nother human being, like, you got to realize that you don't know that person's past. You don't know if they were taught that or not. So you got to help them help you. Like, help him help you by...
With consistency?
By talking to him, but like telling him what you want. You got to tell them early.
They're not looking at it as consistency. They're looking at it as a state of vulnerability.
To me, I just think communication is the key to everything.
Of course.
Maybe you aren't consistent because maybe at a certain point, you really feeling me and you nervous, you scared, you got trust issues, mm-hmm. whatever the case may be. Just communicate, mm-hmm. and then I can know how to maneuver with that, because that lack of whenever there's a lack of communication, there's a breakdown, and people assume. And it's like, okay, yes. I'm going to start connecting dots that's not there. Mm-hmm. Because you not hit me up. It could either be that you have another chick, or it could be you not interested, or it could be like, maybe I'm annoying you. If I'm always the one to hit you all the time, I might start thinking like, okay, he only answers because I'm calling him. Yep. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just something to do really when you're bored. Like, you're really not interested in really talking to me. Like, we'll start to think stuff that doesn't exist to you guys. It may never ever cross your mind.
Right.
We are WebMD.
Lose situation.
You know what I'm saying? Rabbit hole.
Because we could be thinking about y'all all day, every day, and then be like, but I feel like I'm always calling him. And it could be, maybe you're probably just about to call, but then I call you. Yeah. I don't give you the time to call.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know that. So it's like, I feel like when it comes to dating someone new, you're learning like their ways, the way they communicate. Maybe some people, they're not texters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're not, some people don't like doing it on the phone. Some people are more in person. Their love language may be something different.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a good way to have consistency or understand the reason why someone is consistent or inconsistent is through communication. If you don't have communication, to me, my two things in a relationship, like I could deal with a dude cheating and we figure that out, work that out. But I need loyalty and I need communication. If we ain't got that, we ain't got nothing. I'd rather have loyalty over love any day.
You better come on, 21.
Come on. All right. Look,
when I heard this 22 over here,
That's me all the way.
All the way. Yes.
Nah, man.
when do you have that conversation though?
No, and I was just about to say, like, I'm having that conversation straight up, like, first date. I'm asking everything. I mean, but at the end of the day,
though.
it's exactly.
What's
It's
the difference
intentional.
between intentional and aggressive?
Because that's like saying, somebody said, well, you know, when you first asked, I asked people, you know, you trying to get married? You trying to have kids?
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's people who I know have been together for 3 years and then they break up because one person wants kids, the other person doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need to know this in the beginning. And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to get married with you right now. I just want to know what type of guy are you? What are you trying to out here and just be bachelor forever?
Yeah, and the difference between the intention and the aggression is how it's received.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter how you deliver it.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like there's no good way to say. You know, it's like you just gotta say it, and it just depends on the person on the other end. Like,
I would just feel weird to be like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am dating and I have been dating. I really like you. I had a great time with you last night. I want us to keep hanging out. Like, I need you to know I want to hear from you every day. I want to see you at least once or twice a week.
well, no, see, that's an
what I'm thinking.
expectation.
It's like weird.
It's like
I
they're
know
already
that.
setting like that's different, and that's what I was saying before. Like, everybody has to go through this like weird in between stage, and everybody wants to play games. Like, it shouldn't be all that. If you want to hear from him, then hit him up. And then if it gets to the point where you're just constantly hitting that person up and you're not receiving the same energy, then take it from there. But like, it's like you get home, like you said, you get home, you don't hear from him the next morning, then what? You're not going to hit him up the next morning because he didn't text you. Like,
delete it.
You know, 2 or 3 days go by and he doesn't say, let's get up the next
Done
week.
for me.
Then
But
what?
see, I think we've
I
always
probably
been
follow you on
aggressor.
IG and everything, and in real life,
We've always been like, you know what, this is what I want, so I'm going to get it. I'm going to go get what I want.
She just dated somebody over.
Right. And then when they text the next morning later, you know what I'm saying? Because they flew to California and then it's 3 hours behind.
a night or two
Or
is
they feel like,
okay.
you know what, where did he try? I ain't heard from her. I miss her.
Yeah.
They're probably thinking the same thing. You know, a lot of men like to be pursued as well. They
do
want to
like
be
that.
pursued.
And then you get that who this because you and your feelings.
And sometimes they're like, you know what, maybe I ain't hear from her. Maybe she busy, so I don't want to interrupt. Guys do that.
Guys will definitely.
Guys will be like,
I am so sorry. That does not work for me because there's so many avenues. You could text me, you could DM me, you could FaceTime me, you could Google.
And you could do the same.
If you let get off the mic, with that energy here. Good. Okay, you're right.
So
I don't
back
want
to
to seem
submission. Like, you know,
I don't want to seem like I'm chasing you or I'm more interested because I found that
But
I
that's
feel like
pride and ego.
that's the issue. That's the
but I
issue
feel
in
like a
dating.
man will run me to the ground and they're like, oh, I know I got it.
That right there is the issue in dating. You don't want to seem like, you don't
Yep.
want to feel like,
Yep.
you don't want to be the
Yep.
one. And that's why I said there's a difference. Like, there's some sense of like vulnerability that you have to have. So you're like, you don't want to submit all the way when it's too early.
Right.
That's fine, but like you have to show something. That's a state of vulnerability.
I mean, showing up to the date, brushing my hair, looking like the
See, so what?
No, I'm totally kidding.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, what if it was the man that you've been praying for and all of this, and it took you to be vulnerable and take that pride and ego aside to reach out, to do these things that you're like, I don't want to do. How do you know you're not missing out on your blessing because of your own ways?
Ooh, I'm getting a little tight in my chest. You know what? You guys are raising really good points, and I guess it is pride and ego. I'm just so fearful of putting myself out there like that at this age for what I want. I kind of, for my expectation, have an aggressive timeline in my mind.
I mean, I respect it.
That it's kind of like, bro, I really don't have 6 months to play with you.
But see, this is the thing. Y'all just may be in 2 different spots at 2 different times. Like, right now, maybe you are consistently calling him. And maybe he's not calling as much as you want, but that don't mean he don't like you. And it's like if you stay there and do when you want to talk to him, you hit him up. A month now, you may not even know because he could show his love differently. A month now, he could be extremely in love with you, ready to propose to you, and doing all the things that you want, think, and need. But because you cut him off too early, because you felt like he wasn't giving you what you wanted in week 1, 2, 3, it's down the drain.
Well, how the hell do you know?
And I think that's why I feel like when you're dating, just date. Stop putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Like it's okay. It doesn't have to do with like being a player and this and the other. If you're dating, just date. Be honest. You know what I'm saying? Stop dealing with the lies and the secrets and all the other stuff, and then you won't be so stressed out over like this one being and the type of energy that just that one person is giving you.
Right.
Don't give out too much of your own energy.
Right.
Everybody doesn't deserve that, but there's you just have to
right, and let them know what you want. Another one will.
No.
Look.
I think naturally they know that.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
But like what Drake said, you ain't the only one trying to be the only one.
Exactly. Because that person gonna think about that. They're gonna be like, oh, she ain't really pressing me. That means somebody else in there, so I gotta come and put my A game.
I think when you'll feel when it's like, okay, this is the only person I want to entertain. Right. Like I'm trying to take it somewhere else.
Exactly.
You'll know when to naturally be like, okay, everybody else can look. I'm talking.
And you don't have to do that after that first date.
Right.
Like it can be a minute. So it's just time.
Allow yourself and each other to grow and get to know one another, because you could. I mean, I know people who they feel like you only talk to one person at one time. I've never been that way. But then I know people like me who are like, well, I'm gonna just date. If we not together, if we ain't together, then when you with me, you with me, and when you ain't, you ain't. So when I'm spending time with you, I'm spending time with you. When I'm not spending time with you, it don't matter what I'm doing and who I'm spending time with. Just know it's not you. Right. Like no beef, no bad blood, no like. I'm not out here smashing the whole world. I ain't out here for everybody, but I'm not with you, so it doesn't concern you. And I'm the same. If you're not with me, it don't concern me. Like what you doing, enjoy your life, and I'm gonna see you when we link. But if you are someone who chooses to just date one person at a time, then I would say allow it room to breathe and grow and see what you learn from that person about them, and then what being with that person teaches you about yourself. Right. Instead of like just expecting so much from it. So is there any substance after that honeymoon phase? That's what's going to carry it through.
And it's based on those conversations and stuff like that. It's been like, what are y'all really talking about? Because when you really break it down, y'all aren't talking about anything. Like if you're not dating with intentions, you're talking about how's your day, what happened on a TV show. Like like you really have to ask those tough questions, and whether they take offense to it or not, that's really what's gonna get you over that hump or get you past that honeymoon phase when you're kind of at a rough patch where it's like, all right, well, is this what it is? But because you guys have already stumbled over those tough conversations, like it's gonna go smooth, like it's gonna continue, it's gonna soar. I mean, I'm telling you from experience. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you from experience about those. But being that we have one single, one in a relationship, and one married, what is your, I wouldn't say your ideal situation, but being where you are right now, what would be, I guess, what would make your relationship even better? Not to personally bash anybody that you're with or anybody that you're talking to, but like, there's that one thing that you're going through right now that it's like, if we go ahead and just cross this bridge, then it'll be the best thing, it'll be the best thing that ever happened and we'll be good. What is that one thing? And then y'all can record y'all say, look, we can get this snippet so we can go ahead and you can send that to whoever your boo, your babe, whoever, so they can be like, look, I can't communicate this to you right now, but press play. So what is it? What is that one thing that's just like, it's just inside you. It's like, look, this is what I want. And,
I'm going to say that my one thing.
This is who are you? Who are you? This is the married one?
This is Jewel Dorsey.
There it is.
And no, I'm going to say that my one thing is just a change in our quality time. That's the best way for me to say that.
Nice.
What's it?
I like how you was going.
Yeah. a change
So
in
a
our priority
change.
time. Yeah, because I mean, both of us are extremely busy. Like our schedules are all over the place. I mean, I wake up at 9. He don't wake up till 2. He gets home at 9. I'm gone. He leaves again. He gets home at 5 in the morning. You know, so it's crazy. But when we do spend time together, and I think it's been a conscious effort so far, as like when we're around each other, like trying not to be on our phones as much and stuff like that. But because we have such little time, a change in what we're doing with that time and like how we're really paying attention to each other and feeding into each other's love languages, etc., versus it just being like about the household, about our businesses, etc. That would be like the one thing that would literally put me like over the top. Anything, any day, whatever. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my one thing.
All right. So, single or in a relationship? What's up?
I would say mine is a little different.
Okay, and who are you?
I'm Gail Bean.
Okay, and she's in a relationship. 14 months, y'all. 14 months, y'all.
14 months. I believe that's right. It
Who's
was
counting?
here February 24th.
Hey.
I would say because I live in LA and he lives in Atlanta, just proximity. Like if we were both local, because it's so difficult when, I mean, yes, we see each other, but when your entire relationship is conversation, I mean, it helps you grow and get to a point of greatness where you're strong and you guys can grow to be something more. But then you realize that there's only so far you can grow, like beyond words. Like we can't go on and do the marriage and the family. So I think what would just push our relationship to another level and elevate us both individually and collectively as a couple would be if we lived in the same state.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Single mingle.
Right.
Single mingle, come on.
Single mingle. That'll be a job. I think for me, it's a trifold effort. I would need honesty. I want you to come in the gate and tell me what it is that you want. And you could be like, listen, I'm just ready to have fun. I'm actually looking for a wife. I just want to have sex. I actually, just want you to join me in my on again, off again girlfriend that I'm gonna propose to in 2 weeks. In the bedroom. I would prefer that up top so I know like where we stand and I have an active choice in how I feel and what we do. I would like consistency, not just with words, but with action. And I said honesty, I said consistency, and communication. I want you to talk to me. I want you, like you said, to be vulnerable and let me in. I want to get to know you. I want to know about your, how you grew up and, put things together on why you may be the way that you are. And not that I'm trying to analyze any of that stuff, but I want to talk.
No, it's needed. That's needed.
I want to talk. Let's
care.
talk about our kids.
That's needed. That's needed.
Yeah.
And no, for me, especially being in this engagement realm. Yes, I am. I'm the fourth. I'm the fourth. So, hey, we made this work. We made this work. But for me, it's more so, let me turn my direction to my fiance. No, but it's more so, getting through with this wedding planning. And the fact of merging 2 families, 2 cultures, just for one day, you can get tied up into that day and not into the actual marriage. And we do a good job at, talking about things way past just the day, but I can see where the day kind of hinders a lot of things. So the perfect thing would be to get past that day and to focus on forever. So.
Yeah, because it's literally like once the day goes by.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like all that shit that
it's gonna
you
literally feel like you're like on a beach, even if you ain't gone nowhere yet. Like it's gonna be amazing. Like you're gonna be like all of that for that day. Okay, cool.
Right.
Great memories. Thanks.
Right. So we got about 7 minutes. So I need some. So for the guys that's listening, I need some sex tips. I need something good, man. I need something good, and I need something what you like.
Are we talking about submissions?
I'm talking about what you like, and then what is like your go-to? Because I feel like every woman has that go-to. It's like, look,
okay, guys need to know that no girl is the same. So it could be something that one girl loves that another girl is not a fan of. I love shower sex.
She hated it.
Like,
Oh,
certain things that some people are like, no. Like,
okay.
Oh my God.
so you gotta get to know your girl. You gotta like know her. You gotta talk to her. A lot of guys you think that just because you had one girl who you was her all and you might have been the biggest and the best that she's ever had, that don't mean the next girl you meet is gonna feel the same way.
You don't you dare ask me that.
Facts.
So
if you ask me,
Don't
I'ma
ask.
tell you.
Yeah. Don't ask.
I'm honest with it. Like we gotta talk because my thing is I can't marry a person and then try to teach them how to have sex with me. I will leave you. Like I will. Straight up. I can't. I feel like once we marry, that's not my time to be trying to teach you that. Like I need you to know my body and how to please me in different ways to make it work before we get there.
So what are those ways?
So the tips, he knows. So the tips I would say for guys is to be open, and I'm not saying be open like try
Right, not finger in
the
the booty
wall.
hole.
Yeah,
type stuff. Nah, bro.
I'm saying, but be open to pleasing her and not just living in ego, thinking that you 100% know what you're doing. But listen to her, because it could be times where a person will be like, right there, like do this, oh go back, do that. Like don't. It's times I've had to be like, okay, that's you're a little too rough. You're a little too like that hand. I'm gonna need you to soften that part right there. Like, so listen and don't feel so like don't take everything personal, because a lot of it is constructive criticism.
Facts, and that's key. Taking it personal, especially, but they can take it personal if it's in the moment, and then after the conversation, like people can take it lightly afterwards. But yeah, in the moment it's tough. But
in the moment we gotta try to. We in the moment, so I need you to get this popping right now, like while I'm here.
I feel like if she respected you enough to say something about it in the moment, that means it can be solved.
Yeah,
right.
If she didn't say anything, then you out of luck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's also not about what you say; it's about how you say it.
This is
to
true.
The delicacy of a man.
This is true. This is
about
true.
how you say it.
But men, that's my tip for men sexually. Listen.
Thanks.
Listen.
I'm just gonna say same, because she pretty much
she
said
did,
everything that I was gonna say. Yeah, listening is the main thing for me. Whatever she says, like that's probably what you should do.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sex from a single. Sex from a single. I would say my biggest thing is don't come at me on just because we had a little bedroom cha-cha one time.
Yeah.
Do not be text me for no pics. Do not.
No.
That's how you come out the gate. Don't let that be the thing that you leave with just because we did it. I'm going to give it to you when I want you to have it. You can't make me give it to you. Okay?
Okay.
That's forceful and that's aggressive, and I'm not going for it. But no, I would say that. Like, in that single world, I'm telling you, brothers, she is going to give it to you. You don't have to ask about it. You don't have to like ask for a photo. You ain't got to do none of that.
Let me just say this too, because I had this happen to me one time. Don't unwillingly pull out your penis and expect it to go down. Like
what?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't rapey. It was just like weird. Like I said we was going to watch a movie, and then we went back, and then I put the movie, and I turned around, and it was like a penis out. And I was like, get out.
No, that's real. That's real. That's real. That's real.
I would kick it out so quick. I was like, "What makes you think?" You said we was watching a movie. Nigga, a movie. I was like, "Get out." Go home.
He thought
all right. Well, mine. I mean, we're currently abstaining right now until marriage, until that day. So, but when it does, I will. I mean, we've had sex before, so.
Oh, okay.
I know, yeah. We've had sex before, so
I didn't want to look at her face.
No. We had sex. No, we had sex before, so I know her wants and her needs.
So, like,
and
abstaining, like, how long has this been happening?
It was during our engagement.
Oh, so how long have y'all been engaged?
Since no, it was October 25th, but we started it was August 25th, but we started October 7th. So it's been like...
So y'all have had sex
7
months?
She's counting the months.
8 months? I mean, do you guys like do other things?
Nah.
We kiss?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The kissing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, kissing getting heated.
Y'all live together?
Yes, we do.
Do y'all shower together?
Nah, no showers.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's coming though. It's coming. It's coming.
Do y'all sleep in the same bed?
We do.
Oh man!
But quick, before we get done, how can they follow y'all? What you got going on?
Instagram, INSTA_B3AN. My name is Gail Bean. You type that in on all platforms, you'll find it.
Facts.
I'm Jewel. It's _JEWEL.
Stewmichaels, STWMICHALS. Once again, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and turning up with us on Let's Talk Not Argue. I hope you gained some insight and understanding on the various topics that we talked about with the Estrogen Crew. I appreciate you guys for checking in each and every Monday with me from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on 106liveradio.com. Be blessed, and I love y'all guys, and I'll see you next week.